Whew. Okay, so I'm out of breath because I've been up and down the stairs several times to bring everything I need from upstairs downstairs, because it is finally time to tackle the pockets on my Alchemilla rain cape by So Willow. So if you're new here, I have an energy limiting disability, which means that I have to pace myself and take it easy, which I've done a terrible job at just now. But I am making this rain cape to go away on holiday in England, because of course it always rains, and I leave a week today, and I can only sew for about 20 minutes a day as a result of my disability, and I have a lot to get done. So think we're just gonna have to start a timer, 20-minute timer, and crack on. There we go. So first of all, I'm going to use my pinwheel, Tanta Ingrid's pinwheel, to mark firstly where this buttonhole is supposed to go. I'm making B, aren't I? Yes. And then, as you know, for me, continuous downward pressure like this is very difficult. It's particularly difficult when you're doing it across the body. But hopefully this will mean I will have marked up both halves of the front at the same time. So, moment of truth. Look at that. Look at that. Smashing. Oh, I haven't marked the centre. Let's do that then. Oh. And then let's also do the ends here. Okay. What I now need to be aware of is my left and rights again. So let's move the pattern piece. So I'll show you. Hey, 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 there it is. Oh shit, I can't remember which is the left and the right now. So the left hand side is the wider one. So that's right sides up. That's right, isn't it? Yes. With the right side up, lay one on one of your front pieces and using the welt pocket markings. Lay one of the pocket pieces, these. Like that. My centre line's not very central. So I'm doing, you can't see what's happening. I'm going to do both of these at the same time so that hopefully I don't get anything else mixed up. Secure and sew in place using outer markings as a guide for your sew line. Well, can't pin it. My issue is that I've done a really bad job of marking this up so that this line is not central. Oh, that pencil doesn't have a lead in it. Ugh. Tailor's chalk, there we go. So, how wide is this supposed to be? 7/8. Where's my metric one? Oh, so literally a centimetre. Okay, let's put that in. And then what I want to do is mark a centimetre on here. It's very wibbly wobbly, so approximately a centimetre. Okay, so that goes like that. There's the other one. That's my sewing line. So I'm gonna thread baste tack, as we say, where I'm from, but I'm gonna do it in, where's my coordinating thread? Here we are. So match the raw edge. I should have about 1 centimetre either side there. I'm just going to use really big stitches with my thimble. The thing is, my preferred method of doing this, of course, the way I was taught, costume making, is incredibly precise, involves a whole load of hand basting. And so, because it's the way I've done, it's the way I was taught, it's the way I've done it most often, it's the way I feel most confident to do it. And so like when I get this sort of technique in a commercial or an independent sewing pattern or something, I'm like, oh no, because they're definitely not going to have put this in the way that I would have put it in, and I'm going to have to go back to my university notes and find all the samples I made when I was at university. Things like that. Okay, so that will do for that side. Let's do the same thing again on this side. I think as well, the thing about a commercial pattern like this, no balance marks. For something that has to be this precise, to not provide balance marks, to me, is like, what? And so, what I'm doing with as I sew this, I'm sort of making sure that my needle is on that line. Not just the line I chalked on here, but the line I pinwheeled on there. So I go through the fabric, make sure that's on that line, come up through the fabric, make sure I'm on the line, yeah. Maybe I should do a tutorial on how I do this. Although, to be honest, the way I do this is very similar to the way, well, not exactly, but very similar to the way that I do bound buttonholes, and I have a bound buttonhole tutorial, should you ever need it. Okay, right, so that's done. What's the next step according to them? I know what I would do. Line up, center line, secure and sew in place. Okay, so they're just going to stitch it, but I'm going to wait. Place one of the sewn outer welt pocket pieces along the sewn pocket with the raw edge lining up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack everything on and then take it upstairs. So now they want me to put these there. Only these have to fit a lot more precisely. So first of all, can't be expected to do anything without a chalk line. Another length of thread. And yes, I'm going to baste these on, and then I'm going to baste the pockets on top of them. I'm not doing them both in one go because that's how things end up misaligned. So that's the thing. It's got to be very precise with the end of the opening. I am doing very big stitches because it's not, firstly I don't want to put too many holes in this waterproof fabric. But also it doesn't need to hold it really firm, it just needs to hold it in place long enough for me to get it upstairs and run the sewing machine over it. Lovely. Okay. And then I'm not even going to reinforce that, I'm just going to leave that like that. And then seeing as I'm here, same thing again. Chalk my 1 centimetre line in and baste this on the top. And I'm going to make sure that I baste it through both layers and so that it matches up precisely like that. Yeah, lovely. But I'm not going to go past the opening, if that makes sense. So this time what I might have to do is, yeah, like that. Again, big stitches. And there'll be people watching this like, oh my god girl, you're running out of time, just whack it on. But this is a classic case, for me at least, of making sure you do it right. It's always worth spending time to make sure you only have to do it once, in my opinion. Because these sewing timers, they're not a race. I'm not trying to get as much done as possible. Well, I am trying to get as much done as possible, but I'm not willing to compromise on accuracy. Same thing again on the other side. And this will probably be my 20 minutes, won't it? But I might do a second 20 minutes today. I'm feeling good. I had a day off yesterday as well, so I'm cutting it very close. Oh, is that is right, isn't it? Yeah. Ah. I'm literally gonna have to stand up to get this as precise as I want it. Oh, look, that's 20 minutes. I'm carrying on. So again, I'll do stopwatch and see how far over I go. I'll just do this hand sewing, have a break, and then we'll go upstairs to the machine and do another 20 minutes and see if we can't get these pockets done today. Sit down again. So, same steps again. Mark in the seam allowance. There we go. Make sure this lines up exactly, top and bottom. I've got a knot in the end, yeah. And so then I'm really trying to, with this project, enjoy the process. I think part of what happened with me losing my, well, I mean, not just with all the injuries and stuff, but also with sewing for YouTube. My videos have always been very much like, and here's the end of the video is the finished project, which means that there's a lot of pressure to get things done and made. And as a result, it becomes about the product and not the process. But I really enjoy the process of sewing, particularly of garment making. I like all the fiddly little steps. I like being in my own world. Absolute silence. And just sewing. And so, in that way, this project has been really good for me because it's shown me that I don't have to have finished product to make a video. Okay, 4 minutes over. I don't think that's too bad.